U.S. President Joe Biden's administration is weighing whether to go ahead with an $18 billion arms transfer package to Israel that would include dozens of F-15 aircraft, according to the Reuters news agency. The sale of 25 F-15s has been under review since the U.S. received the formal request in January 2023, Reuters reported, citing one of 5 sources familiar with the plans, long before Israel's 6-month-old military campaign in Gaza. This sale would boost that number to as many as 50 F-15s. Biden faces pressure from foreign partners, human rights groups, and some of his fellow Democrats in Congress to impose conditions on arms transfers to rein in Israel's offensive in Gaza, where health officials say at least 32,845 Palestinians have been killed, many of them civilians. Former United States President Donald Trump has posted a $175 million bond in his civil fraud case in New York, avoiding asset seizures which could have dealt a serious blow to his finances and re-election hopes. Trump, who is set to face off against U.S. President Joe Biden for the presidency in November, was in February found liable for misrepresenting his net worth by as much as $2 billion to secure better terms for loans and insurance. Trump's lawyers had argued that securing a bond for the full judgment was practically impossible after more than 30 insurance companies refused to accept Trump's cash and real estate holdings as collateral. A temporary route for vessels has opened in Baltimore following the collision of a cargo vessel with a major bridge last week. The first vessel has passed through a temporary alternate channel created around the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, which was damaged last week after a cargo vessel collided with it. Captain David O'Connell, the Coast Guard commander of the Maryland sector, said it is an important first step along the road to reopening the Port of Baltimore, one of the busiest in the United States. A secondary provisional route for deeper vessels will also open in the upcoming days, officials said, as attempts are made to remove debris. A spokesperson for the Pentagon has confirmed that a senior official from the United States had reported symptoms corresponding to so-called Havana syndrome after attending last year's NATO summit in Vilnius, Lithuania. Sabrina Singh made the announcement to reporters on Monday, a day after a group of news outlets pointed to links between the mysterious ailment and alleged Russian operatives. Reports of Havana syndrome stretch back to 2016, when U.S. Embassy staff in Havana, Cuba, started to report unexplained symptoms including ringing ears, migraines, vertigo, and cognitive dysfunction. OpenAI has unveiled a tool for cloning people's voices but is holding back on its public release due to concerns about possible misuse in a key election year. Voice Engine can replicate a person's voice based on a 15-second audio sample, according to an OpenAI blog post demonstrating the tool. But the ChatGPT creator is taking a cautious and informed approach to the technology and hopes to start a dialogue on the responsible deployment of synthetic voices, the company said in the blog post published on Friday. OpenAI said it would make a more informed decision about deploying the technology at scale based on testing and public debate. Formula One owner Liberty Media has agreed to buy MotoGP in a deal valued at about $4.5 billion, the United States-based company said. MotoGP said in a statement on Monday that Liberty Media would acquire approximately 86% stake from Spain-based owner Dorna. The acquisition is expected to be completed by the end of 2024, subject to clearances and approvals by competition and foreign investment law authorities in various jurisdictions. Liberty will not be the first company to own both Formula One and MotoGP. Private equity firm CVC Capital Partners had owned both F1 and MotoGP but was forced to sell the motorcycle series to buy F1 after EU competition regulators raised objections. Stay informed with News Recap. Thank you for tuning into today's news coverage. If you found this update valuable, give us a like and subscribe for more insightful news analyses and updates.